Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm my husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, season 18, episode number 3. Come on laughing because y'all got to see what happens before we even start recording this stuff. It's funny. But anyway, episode number 3, we get to see the final wedding today. And we get to see the couples interact and end up in their hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
Okay. So we start. I don't remember where we start this time.
You remember this time?
We start with Michelle and David finishing up their wedding. It's the last wedding. She's expressing the fact that she's nervous. She's been independent for so long, and then when it's time for her to walk in, he looks and he's like, "Ooh." And she greets everybody. She's walking in, and he says, "Hello, beautiful. Pleasure to meet you." I was like, okay, so he liked what he see.
Because she's blonde hair and blue eyed. That's what he wanted.
That's what he said later. Yeah. That's what I asked for.
He said, I want blonde hair and blue eyes.
That's what he asked for. But he greets her parents, and then they introduce themselves to each other. What her family has to say about her, she's a small town country girl at heart, but she's a city girl. Mm-hmm. But she prefers the city. She's sincere, genuine, tough, but sensitive. And then she says something about her 3 babies, Walter, Trixie, and Lily. And he's like, and they're like, oh, they're animals. I was like, duh.
Like,
but they didn't say what animals. I'm assuming they're dogs, maybe a mix of dogs and cats, maybe a rabbit. You never know. But she just said they're animals. They didn't say what.
I'm animals, but certain animals I can't get rock with.
She didn't say what, but they talked about her beating to her own drum.
Yeah.
His family says family means everything to him. He's loyal. He's got a big, loud family. And then they're like, he's a mama's boy. And I could see her kind of tense up.
She tensed up a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
Her face tells everything when things are said. She don't like even that vein in her neck.
Yeah.
Be pop like.
Yeah, that his mom means the world to him. He gets his heart from her. He's a big old teddy bear, a gentle giant, and he'll give you the biggest teddy bear hugs. Yeah, okay. So for her vows, hey, where have you been hiding? No, seriously, where you been hiding? She never imagined that she would need experts to find you. It's the beginning of our next chapters. I promise to be there to make you smile, laugh at your jokes, to push you and to dream big. His vows. It's 3 things you need to build love: loyalty, honesty, respect. And, I promise to bring that. I'll cherish you, cherish your love, your mind, and your body. Of course you will.
Dog, he likes the body. He likes the body. He likes what he
But he wrote this beforehand, so.
Yeah, but he was going to like what he saw, right? He knew, he figured that. Now, for real, and I think we said it last time, the experts have given people what they like physically, right? Mm-hmm. So, with all the complaints,
let me try it this way.
With all the complaints we've made in the past as viewers and reviewers.
Well, for the most part.
For the most part.
One of the couple says he's not her type.
Yeah, but for 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because I forgot about my man.
Yeah. So, the one thing I noticed is when I now pronounce y'all, they just kissed. He asked. I think he was about to, maybe, but not really.
She went in too, though. He felt. Yeah. He read the room.
Yeah. They walk out arm in arm. They sit down and chat. And he says, he hit the jackpot. He's speechless. He's so happy. His face is hurting from smiling. And she's like, am I what you thought it would be? He was like, oh, yeah, they nailed exactly what I envisioned. Because like you said, he asked for blonde and blue eyes.
And what she asked for light skin and African-American, but she got light skin and Dominican. I'm just saying, she didn't get what she asked for.
I mean, it's not that far off.
It's not. It's not.
That he asked for an independent woman, and then he tells her, it's my birthday. This is the best present I could get. And then he even tells her, my dad got married on his birthday. My brother got married on his birthday.
That's too easy. That's weird.
Yeah. And
I blame production for that. Y'all could have moved their wedding to another day.
I think he wanted it like that.
He wanted it, or production knew the story and they added it. They made it happen.
I don't know, but he didn't mind.
Because everybody get married on the same day.
Right. He didn't mind. And so he shares, you know how old he is. It's his birthday. Um, he turned 36. She's 38. So she's a little bit older than him. So they're sitting there drinking the champagne, and it's like, okay, so do you drink? She was like, I drink socially. And he was like, yeah, me too. I just drink socially. Like both of them are like, I never crack a beer at home.
Yep, no,
Probably because you live with your parents, sir. But I never drink at home. You know, I really drink socially. He was like, yeah, like when I'm at a softball game or darts. And he was like, but I do smoke socially. And she's like, oh, that's gross.
That's gross.
I thought it was so funny with the quickness. She was like, oh, that's gross.
Yo, I mean, I get it. I didn't want to smoke her. Nobody. I'm sorry for those who smoke. I mean,
me, you act like I did.
No, I'm saying you did, but I didn't want to smoke her. I mean, you just didn't.
That ain't even. It's just like, it's one thing to say, oh, she straight up said, oh gosh, that's gross.
Smoke her or anything. Let me put it that way, because you know some people say they don't smoke cigarettes, but they smoke the funny.
She said, oh gosh, that's gross. She said like cigarettes. He's like, yeah, and on that I was like,
yeah. He said, well, I'm trying.
Again, no offense to the cigarette smokers, but I feel like I feel like our college daughter, she said that she was like, when she find out people her age smoke cigarettes, she be like, you smoke cigarettes?
Like,
who smokes cigarettes? She say that all the time. She said, who smokes cigarettes?
For as expensive cigarettes are?
Bro, I always laugh.
Like $9 a pack.
I always laugh too, because when she said something about somebody she knows smoking, my mind automatically, because of our age, I go to tobacco. But she be like, no.
No, my mind these days go to weed. I ain't saying lots. Somebody said somebody smokes. Oh, yeah, they smoke weed. Just because of the population that I'm around.
That's what I'm saying.
The population I'm around.
But that's what I said. My mind first goes to tobacco because that's our generation. But I'll be like, these kids don't smoke tobacco. So that's what my daughter be like. If it's somebody her age that smoke tobacco, she's like, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Anyway, side note,
they vape. What he say? He's winging himself off of smoking.
No, he said he will. He said she don't like it. I can get off of it. So I'll do the vaping and try to teeter off on that.
I don't think she like the vaping either, bro. I'm just saying.
Again, I'm not a proponent of none of it, but I'm like, why you ain't vaping in the first place?
Well, you like tobacco. So you want some buffalo wings. You know?
She talks about the fact that she lives downtown. You know, I'm really a city girl. I've been in the city for 13 years. I walk to work. And he was like, yeah, I drive to work. You know, I live with my parents currently. And I was like, oh my God.
Too much too soon. Too much too soon, right? I know he wanted to come clean. He wanted to give everything out there. But you don't know this person yet. Let's build a rapport. Let's build a relationship. I know he wanted to tell her. And he said on the after party, you know, I kind of would have waited. Like not within the first 5 minutes. Hey, I live with my parents. If you do not know, that's a red flag for like most people. You're 36. And what happened is he does go into explaining it, but to me, I don't think he explained it properly. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, by the way, I'm just transitioning right now. I sold my condo. This is what he should have said. I sold my condo right now. I'm living with my parents, but I do have the money and the finances to buy a house. I was just waiting for a wife. And we don't have to live in the basement. And I don't have to live with you. You see what I'm saying? It's like, if you're going to say I live in the basement with my parents, fully ease her mind and give her the sense of, hey, by the way, I do have money to have a house. I have X amount of money saved up. I'm just waiting for my wife to go home, to go to the house, to move to buy a house. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. But when he says that, here she goes again. She said, oh my gosh, crazy. And she's looking like, did you just say that?
She got
you live with your parents.
I'm used to turn that people are using that. She got the ick. Bad. I
mean, real bad. We'll see later. And he was, you know, he's like, he doesn't want to live there forever. He does say that he had empty bar that he had turned into a condo, about 2,500 square feet. You know, he was staying there, but he decided to sell and go home for a while. And again, she says crazy.
But she should have eased her mind. Like, oh, he sold the condo, living in Chicago. This is just my mind work. He sold the condo, depending on how long he had it. Like, he got money. He should have money. I'm saying he should have money.
Well, I mean, but he didn't explain why he sold it. Not really. Because she'd be like, oh, you can't afford a condo?
That too. That's why I'm saying explanations are key here in this conversation.
Mm-hmm. So we see them go to their reception. They have their first dance, and for him, he's like, I got one big question. What was your impression of me? And she said, I thought you looked like a genie.
And if y'all don't know, the genie from Aladdin.
He said, seeing her blonde hair made him smile. How you feeling now? She was like, I'm overwhelmed. He was like, I'm happy. And in her little vignette, it's like, okay, I don't love how he lives with his parents. I know I need to chill, just kind of get off that for a minute, but I'm kind of stuck there.
Stuck.
Yeah.
And which on her part, you stuck there, but it doesn't mean that y'all gonna live. It doesn't mean he never lived with anybody else before. Doesn't mean that he's gonna try to move you into his parents' house.
But all of that's what she means by stuck. Like all of that's going through. Like you can't drop that. You still live with your parents. That's what she. Okay, does he expect me to live there? Why is he living there? Isn't I having money?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. All that's going through her head. Like it's really eating her up.
To ask the questions.
It's really eating. In that moment, she can't ask no questions. She can't ask. She like. Because I felt like because first of all, she already said gross. She says crazy. So if she asks questions, she could be like, the freak. I can't even say that. What's wrong with you?
Are you a bum? They matched me with a bum. Who's my man? At least Steve, right? Steve didn't have no job. He had a job. Who else lived in the basement? Well, at least the girl from New Orleans. What was her name? Heather? I want to say Heather. It wasn't Heather. Anyway, she lived in her car.
No, it was like Christina.
Yeah. Christina. At least she lived in her car.
Anyway. But what's his name? Lived in the friend's house. What's the dude's name?
From Tennessee.
Yeah.
He lived in the basement of a friend's house.
Yeah, but he was because he was from Michigan.
He's from Michigan, yeah.
But anyway, at the reception we see him talk to her friends. At that point, I had to remark, like they was having a good time because that man bun that fell apart. And he had his hair exact the way I was like, no, don't do that. Put that bun back up. Because when, the intro, when they was meeting the couples and stuff, when he had the hair, I was like,
it's cocked to the side, y'all.
It gave me, who did I tell you? I said it, the other dude. They got left at the altar. It gave me Michael. Him for a minute. It gave me Michael for a minute.
Michael vibes.
Yeah. They were like, physically, am I her? He's like, physically, am I her type? And they was like, when we saw, he was like, check. Yes, definitely her type. Yeah. And they talk about as long as you can match her without overshadowing her. He was like, yeah, I don't want to overshadow her. Talk about her personalities. Her personality. She talks to his.
She showed a couple personalities.
She talks to his family, his mom and dad mainly. Okay, why did you do Married at First Sight? She was like, because I've been single for so long. Yeah. I kept running into the wrong guys. I figured maybe I got a bad picker. Let me let an expert
do it for me.
Try something different and let the experts do it. She tells, okay, so I was talking to him. He threw out some stuff pretty quick. I don't know how I feel about it. So I got questions about him living with y'all. And his mom was like, no, it's a temporary thing. He's ready to move on, but we needed him to do some things that.
Is Dad a mute?
No, he not.
He don't talk.
He did.
And not much. Mom ran that whole conversation. Mom said
she gonna stick up for her son now.
But Dad would, and at in moments like that, I'd have been like, I know where she going. I'd have been like, sis, nah. I've been wanting him to get out. He gonna get out.
Maybe he don't. You never know. But anyway,
man.
Then she says, anyway, our door is always open. If our kids need to come back. So, but it was mainly like, it was convenient. This is how she said it. She didn't say it was convenient for him to come home. Plus, we needed him there for things.
To help us out with stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem. The doors will always be open for our kids to come home. Right? But there's going to be a time limit. Then we flip back to him talking to her friends. Okay, what makes her tick? And he's like, I got questions for you. What makes her tick? And her friends was like, hold on, bro. We're not finished with you. I'm not done.
We're not finished grilling you. What you think this is?
We got more questions for you. It's us talking to you. You're not talking to us.
Are you really ready for marriage? What are you gonna do when y'all have y'all first big fight? And he was like, I know, I need to listen, and it's about communication. We're gonna take it one day at a time. I know there has to be compromise. I want to support her, and I want to be up to par. We want to share honesty. And then he tells them that he smokes.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. So then we flipped to her talking to his parents, and she's talking about the cigarettes. The cigarettes thing
like
kind of don't agree with me.
She's like, well, the dad said he doesn't want him to smoke, and he don't say nothing to him.
It's only socially. And she was like, I had cancer before, so he knows, that's not good. That's not good. But she still don't look at ease. I wouldn't be either. But anyway, so then finally he's talking to her friends again. Okay. Oh, now it's my turn. So help me get to know her better. She likes being treated special. Flowers and small things. Yeah, flowers for no reason. But she does need her space at times. She's not super good at being vulnerable. She has high standards for herself. She's not putting up with no bull. And he's like, okay, got you. So then later we see her regrouping, and she goes to talk to her friends. And how you feeling? She said, I was feeling good.
Until
I think he's serious about commitment, being committed to the relationship, loyalty and respect are at the top of his list. I really like that. I see why we were paired, and her friends was like, I see it too. She says, just some small things I'm stuck on. It's natural. They're like, it's natural to feel overwhelmed. And, I think I'm just,
she was ready to run. She was ready to run.
She did not want to say in that space what it was. And they were like, you want to go to the bathroom? And so they go to the bathroom. And I told my husband, I was like, so she goes to the bathroom. She don't want to say it in that space. I know it's more people that can hear. Okay.
Plus, she didn't want she didn't want his family to see her being emotional and caught up with crying or whatever case may be.
Right. Because I was like, surely she's not trying to hide it from us, the viewers, because you're still Mike, sis. And so she goes to the bathroom and she says, he lives with his parents. He lives with his parents. I don't know if I want to do that.
It's not that he's asking. This is why I told you he's not asking you to move in. But I do like the fact, and you'll get to it, that after they calmed her down in the bathroom, she did actually have a conversation.
Yes.
With him. And she's the type of person that she didn't want to linger on and mess up their relationship. So they had a conversation.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great, because most people held on to it that night. But she told him what was bothering her, because he kept looking for her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's like, where's my wife? Where's my wife?
He noticed she was gone, and he kept looking for her. And that's when she was in the bathroom having her moment.
Yeah.
And so, I like I said, I enjoyed the fact they had the conversation about it. Even when they got to the room, I think it was in the room, and they talked about it.
Yeah. So, but her friends did calm her down. I was like, just breathe. Just find out before you jump off the deep end. Find out why. Get some context. And so she was like, yeah, I could do that. So yeah. Then they go later on, we see them leaving the reception. They go to the room, and they talk about it.
They talk about it, which he explains why.
One thing at the reception, his brother is like, it's your wedding day, but it's your birthday. I'm gonna give this to you one last time. And he gives him a box. And apparently, it's all different flavored Cheetos. So he goes around the room. You get us some Cheetos. You get some Cheetos. You get some Flamin' Hot Cheetos. You get some Lime and Cheetos.
So you got smoke fingers and Cheeto fingers all together.
But he only smokes socially. You don't smoke all the time.
But he eat Cheetos for socially too, so your fingers are just orange the whole time.
So that's Michelle and David. Let's go to MM and Ikechi. Okay.
Mr. Do Too Much.
He said, look, I want to know what made you do this. She was like, I've been single for a while. I don't like the dating sites. I work a lot. And I didn't want to focus on my career as much. Like I didn't want to be single forever. So I was like, I figured this was a good process. For him, he said, what about you? He says, it's been a desire of mine to be married for a long time. He didn't want it to be just anyone.
That's weird, because it is just anyone. When he said it, I was like, dog, it's just anyone. You've been trying for Married at First Sight for 3 times. You was in Atlanta.
That's what they say.
You was in Houston.
That's what they say.
And now you're in Chicago. So you wanted it to be anyone. Because you couldn't do it on your own. Maybe you just want extras. Maybe you just want to be on TV. Wink, wink. All right, look, I got some questions about Ikechi.
But he's like, I've been praying for you for a while for a wife. I wrote a book of letters to my wife, and she's like, why you ain't give it to me? He was like, nah, I could write you a whole new set. She's
Red flag.
like, okay.
Red flag. She's your wife. You wrote a book of letters to your wife. She is now your wife.
Why we can't use them?
Why can't we use those? You can't hand those to her?
But I guess at this point, he wants to, now that he knows her, he wants to be specific.
No, I don't want to. No.
Give me that one and a new one.
Give me that one. There you go. Hand this to her. Right? Read what you read. Look. Let her read what you wrote, bro. New books?
Yeah.
You only got 8 weeks. You're not even, this 8 weeks ain't even guaranteed. So give her that book.
Yeah.
Or don't even give it to her at all. Give it to her after the 8 weeks. So after y'all finish, if you say yes on decision day, she can have it then.
Let's
experiment.
So they talk about, okay, she says, am I your type? And he was like, you're definitely beautiful. He was like, I don't necessarily have a type, but black women. Just like black women.
Just like black women.
And he was like, yeah, I'm more about energy, but not in the Carla kind of energy. Just the space I get. But anyway. And so all of a sudden they're like, hey, everybody join us by the piano. And she was like, what's going on? Oh, you know what's going on. He was like, I know not of what you speak. Let's just go to the piano.
Yeah.
But anyway, he has some of his musician friends, musically inclined friends are there. One is the groomsman actually playing the piano. Yeah. And he has somebody singing a song. You do that thing.
Now, now here's the story of the song. After party, he explains the song. The song was written 10 years earlier by the guy who sung it. He didn't write the song. In case you didn't write the song. And the guy flew in from Germany.
Wow.
To sing the song. He was like, look, he told me, I want him to sing it at my wedding. So he flew in from Germany to sing the song for the wife.
But on the way to the piano, this I thought was funny. Some lady is beside him and was like, girl, did you hear? He said he been praying for you. He said he been praying for you.
Also on After Party, I gotta watch After Party, give you a little bit of insight. That lady who said that, he said she would have been tipsy since they've been at the church.
And it's her friend Courtney.
Her friend Courtney had been drunk like since day one. Courtney has been tipsy. So whenever you see Courtney in that scene, Courtney's already 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, but it's a nice little song. Nice little song. It's like, okay. And she's like, oh, into it. When I tell you he laying it on thick right about now, he's laying it on thick.
He could have sung my queen to be.
But we see her chat with his friends. How you feeling? She was like, I'm better now. I'm married. They asked, what's your story? I'm a nurse practitioner, got my own practice. I've been focused on my career before, but I was ready to commit. But, guys just wasn't, I wasn't finding what I was looking for. So I decided to go this route. His friend said, we were beginning to fear that EKG was in a space like he wasn't going to get married. Like he was in love with a young lady. She broke his heart. She cheated on him. Like, we thought he had given up on love. And, they want him to open up and be vulnerable this time because they didn't think he'd be able to do it. So they were like, you seem like you're all in. And she was like, yeah, we vibe well. And again, they say he's been writing to his future wife for a while. He chats with her cousin. Woo! That cousin was in him.
Hey, yo, I ain't
on
mad.
Him.
I'm not mad at bro, yo.
On his neck.
That's what that's how I'm gonna be, to my daughters, guys,
and this is why.
And my daughter.
And this is why.
My daughter dudes,
is why.
And my son's girlfriend. Look, I need questions. I got questions and I need answers. I want to make sure because her and her cousin are close. You can tell that.
Biased, the girl versus the boy. Let's be real.
I'm not biased. The one that he has now, I question.
Yeah, you don't grill her like you about to grill this boy. Don't do that.
She's been around. So we had those conversations.
But you ain't grill her. You ain't grill her though.
Anyway, that's our own. Look, I got a daughter now who ain't bring a boyfriend around, but we're gonna have a conversation. I'll put it out there like that. If she watched this video, hey, we need to talk. Anyway, I like the fact that he got involved. Cause look, her father was in. Her father's not there, right? So he's taking on that role of the father, and that's her cousin. And again, is a different experiment. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get the interaction. We don't get to see you at the cookout. We don't get to see you at Thanksgiving. This is our first time meeting you. So I want to know who you are. You make sure you're not a serial killer. I want to make sure that when we give to you and y'all leave, that she's in good hands and that you're going to take care of her. So I'm going to ask you the tough questions.
Oh, yeah. I don't have no problem with it.
I want to know why you ain't married now. I want to know why you ain't been in a long-term relationship in 12
years. And that's what he says. Yeah.
I want to know all this stuff, like what's going on with you. I want to know. I got questions, and I need you to provide answers.
Yeah, like you said, he asked, when was your last relationship? He said it was 12 years ago. Have you dealt with any women seriously since then? He was like, yeah, but it hasn't grown into anything, or has grown past a certain point. He's been engaged one time. It didn't go anywhere. They mutually decided to split. This was in his 20s. Okay, so what's your longest relationship been since then? He was like, I had like 6 to 7 months. And he was like, I listened to what they said, and they didn't want the same things that I did. So, we looking at age. Do you want kids? How many kids do you want? He was like, I'm good with at least one. Mm-hmm. It could be more, but at least one. And so he's like, okay, so you here in Chicago now, but you're not from here. Are you gonna stay here? Because she got family here. You trying to take her away? No. I just signed a contract. I'm here. I'm gonna stay here. What makes you ready now? What you gonna do different now? And he was like, I'm here with an open mind, an open heart. From what I know of her, she's a really dope person. And the fact that you are on my neck about her and so protective of her lets me know that she obviously got some value,
and she got some good people.
She's worth protecting. So that tells me she's dope too. So
yeah, dog. Hey, look, gotta be on the neck. I need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was like, look, you talk good game right now. We're gonna see if it matches up. It's gonna take me a minute to embrace you with open arms. Just let you know, bro. Yep. That's what he said. So I ain't mad at the cousin either.
I ain't said them now. They went to the room. They got to the hotel room. Blah, blah. She's been backing up on him all day long. And
well, I mean, when they go back to the room, it's pretty chill. We didn't hear a whole lot from them.
No, you didn't hear a lot from them, but you just saw, her. She's really happy to have a husband. And he said, they went to sleep. They had a conversation that night and they went to sleep. That's after party.
All right. So then we see Madison and Allan. She's so happy right now. And this is when she says he's not her typical type.
Her friend said it also.
And her typical type is groomed up, a little more metro, athletic type.
He groomed up. He ain't athletic type though.
No, because when they left out from the reception, I was like, oh, he got a little tum. As my daughter would say, he got a little tum-tum. Hit a little tum. I was like, okay, got a little tum-tum. But she was like, but he's gentle and kind, has a kind way about him, super funny, he says he doesn't know if he could have dreamed up a better situation. He could picture a family together, that he never had.
He likes what he sees.
And they chat with each other's friends. She tells his friends, I'm on cloud 9. This is best as expected. I see why we were matching. I see similarities. And he asked to kiss me, and so I'm good with that.
Good.
For him, he says, they asked, what was your hope for the marriage and for the future? It's the best outcome that he find his person. And at 80, I have my walker with the tennis balls on and I throw it at her. We just be having fun. Like this, what I picture that this would be really a long-term thing. His friends say, he has a view of what he wants. Mm-hmm. And, she was like physical attraction is good, but attraction more from the emotional and mental security that I get, it comes in other forms. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And it's not that she said he's not good looking, just not her type.
Not her type. But again, your type, we say it all the time, your type didn't work.
Yeah.
If your type worked, then you'll be wouldn't be on the show. Mm-hmm. So your type did not do what you needed it to do. So therefore, you're on this. And much so, it's not always about the attraction. Of course, you want to be attracted to the person. They will have some kind of looks, but it's how he treats you and how he makes you laugh and all those comments and all those good things.
Yeah, and what she basically said was, she's had people that's like, they're like, oh, she's pretty, and they so stuck on her outside that they don't get the inside. So she was like, I want somebody that will focus on my inside, not the outside. That's pretty much why I kind of got into this process.
When she talked to the friend, she's like, she hadn't always been pretty. She hadn't always been the where she at right now. She had to grow and develop into that prettiness,
right,
and where she's at.
Yeah. They talk about his with her friends. They talk about his relationships. He was like, I had a 4-year relationship that ended about a year and a half ago. I really thought she was the one, but it wasn't healthy. I was made to feel bad about myself or just feel bad, and since then I've healed myself. He's like, I'm an advocate for mental health. Also, he shares that his parents, they had like a 14-year custody battle over him. So because of that, in a relationship, I've been through a lot of therapy. I hope I can build and find love.
And they ain't trying to trauma bond, but
right.
Also with that, I think what people don't talk about much is men get mentally abused as well. And I think the way he was saying it was like, I think he was the one. She was like, it's 6 minutes to so and so. Why you ain't home yet?
Right.
Like, hold on. Well, let me see your receipt. Where you been at? And that right there, the insecurity of a person who thinks you're always cheating, who always think you're doing something wrong, it weighs on you.
Mm-hmm.
It weighs on a person's mind to function, and you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where they're walking on eggshells all the time.
Yeah, we chuckle because he took her garter off with his teeth, and he goes to have a little good time. She was like, "Hold on, don't move," and she like, "Oh no, you won't give me a lap dance."
A little sexy dance, a little sexy lap dance.
I was like, "Okay, that's different." She talks to her bridesmaids, like, how you doing? And she shares with her friends what his groomsmen said about her. And it's like, the only red flag she had was that he seems like he's so accommodating and loving, like almost like pushover type of thing. Like, I don't want that. I want him to like stuff because
he likes
stuff, not just because I like it. And they were like, no, he'll get into it because, so
nobody want to push over.
And them, they tell her, from what he shared, it seems like his last relationship was toxic. He has family drama, and you have your own past family trauma. So, the fact that he told them that, he wants to make them happy, doesn't want to weigh her down.
Point too. She was upset because he told the friends about the family situation.
But no, she wasn't upset. She was like, it said something to me, and I believe that was her.
Like, why I didn't get it now? And then her friends had to tell her, like, it's not the time.
That's what I was trying to say. So that statement didn't come off right. She said, I'm happy that he told y'all.
Right.
And I figured he didn't tell me because in this space, he didn't want to weigh me down.
Wait a minute. And we're going to tell me later.
I appreciate that. But it says that he is open to sharing that. She was like, y'all got a lot more information than I did. But that's the point. They're supposed to get more info than you.
For that, sure.
Because God knows MM's cousin.
Yeah.
So I got a whole lot more.
Let's do them last.
Got a whole lot more than MM did. Because you be caught up in the moment.
MM was caught up in the moment. She just wanted to be with dude.
Okay. I gotta say it like this. Now we go to Carla and Juan. That's Carla and Juan. Carla and Juan.
Carla and Juan.
So we saw all the couples taking like family pictures and stuff, but we see Carla and Juan taking pictures, and while they're taking pictures, she was like, "Get closer." They doing a lot of kissing and stuff.
She touchy-feely. She's doing the most.
They both are excited, to keep kissing, during the pictures and everything. He asked if her mom is there, and she's like, no, neither one of her parents are there. Like, she was like, my dad ain't doing TV. Like, he don't even like to take pictures.
And my dad, because my dad's not doing, him and my mom are so close, so my mom's not gonna do it neither.
Right. But they're supportive. But
yeah,
and she's like, I wish my parents were here as I'm relating to her family. I could feel the love from his family and everything. At the reception, you see a lot of clinking glasses. And she was like, oh, we got a kiss. And she started clinking her own glass. She said, oh, is that what that means? And I'm like,
she's ready.
Even if you didn't know. Have you ever watched Married at First Sight? Because if you didn't know, but I've been to a wedding. It's been a minute since somebody we know had gotten married, but they ain't clink no glasses. So outside of that, have you ever watched Married at First Sight? You should know what that clinking glasses mean. Kiss your wife. So that made me chuckle.
My glass at right
that
now.
made me chuckle.
Anyway,
it don't count when you do it yourself. She wasn't supposed to do that. It's when other people. Yeah, no.
We ain't got nobody here to start clinking glasses.
No,
so.
yeah. Anyway, and so she says you have to kiss me. So they talk about her dancing. And some music is playing. He was like, "Oh, the cumbia." She was like, "Yeah, I'll do cumbia and you salsa." And he was like, "My mom can really dance." And he talks about the fact that he's the only one that lives in the area, and he moved there by himself. He grew up at the beach, the Barranquilla. You'll love it. I'm gonna have to take you there. What's your normal work week? She was like, she says, like, my week changes every week. Like, I can manage my own schedule and see what hours I want to work. My work is far from routine. And he was like, nah, I got a lot of routine. I work Monday through Friday because I work in construction. Like, you have to be routine because you're dealing with contractors and stuff like that. He talks about the fact that he has a app that he launched. It's a social media app. And he's talking about connecting people while they're waiting at airports. And he said it doesn't generate a lot of money right now. But she's like, I don't care. It's not about money with me. It's just like you're doing something, to produce something. Her thing with them is this whole love connection. She was like, I feel like I'm a love being that's come to earth to like bring people together. And this came to me when I was in meditation. And he was like, okay, so I hope, we can build together and I can participate in your light being type stuff. Yeah, your universe type stuff.
Yo, her universal stuff is blowing me. So when she talks about it, it's like she's so dipsy. And I know she knows what she's talking about.
And she says it later. She says it later, like, I'm kind of flighty. Yeah. And so I kind of need somebody to bring me back to earth.
I know what you're talking about, but it's like, you're like so in space. Like, it's 1970 and you're high the whole time. Like, she's just like, like she's a hippie. Like, it's really like, and nothing against any hippies. I mean, people, that's you. But she's like, like the universe just brings us together and my energy and your energy. And I don't really have a set. I don't really do this. I just goes with the wind. I just fly. Whatever happens. And whatever moves, we move. And we just do it all together. And even when she's telling his friends, she like he likes to plan stuff. He's a planner. Yeah.
They say, he goes with the flow, but he goes with the flow with a plan. It was his brothers that she talked to. But he chats with her sister and her brother-in-law. It's like, okay, both families are cool. I see, getting along. She says he seems chill, but he's up for adventure. And this is what she said. She said, I'm up in the clouds all the time. So he'll help me execute and, get me in line. And that's when the brothers are like, he goes with the flow, but again,
isn't his job to get you in line? I see that bumping heads because you're not just going to change overnight.
I feel like we kind of see that in the previews. I'm like, but previews always set you up. The conversation not necessarily how it goes.
Like they're gonna bump heads,
but
like they're gonna be just so loosey goosey. Like what's that? Running to the field of lilies and stuff like that, and just bouncing. And he can just scratch that music. Quickly.
Yeah, later they talk about, okay, what made you want to do Married at First Sight to get married. And he was like, I've lived through the adventure. I was not that mature in my 20s, but now I'm in my 30s. I'm more mature and I want to like really settle down or whatever. I'm very passionate when it comes to a relationship. Like, I jump in and it may not be the best thing, but I'm in there.
I'm all in.
So he wants to change that up. For her, she says, I need to work on my softness because I could be direct and quite blunt at times. So I need somebody, to calm me down when it comes to that. And so their recommendation, his brothers to her, take some time, get to know each other. Y'all both have a strong personality. So you're going to have to it's going to take some work for y'all to get to know each other, kind of smooth that down.
And take work for that, but also, we've found out they both sleep naked.
Yeah, I hadn't even got to that.
Yeah, they're both naked sleepers. They were really in tune with each other and couldn't wait till the cameraman left.
Oh no, that wasn't.
Yeah, because she was like, she whispered it, like, I can't wait till they leave.
No, that was a guy that said that.
It was him.
No, it wasn't. It was a different couple. It was Allan.
I thought it was that couple. Sorry.
No, it was a different couple.
Because they really had to try because she had the little nightie on. I'm not used to wearing clothes, and he laughed and giggled. Oh, he played her a song on the guitar. Yes, I know when I watched it because we didn't watch that part together, right? So when I watched it,
my sister had already prepared me. I was like, oh gosh,
we watched it. I
fast forward through it.
I was like, I know Jack ain't gonna like this because he's out of key. It don't sound like it's musically.
I fast forwarded through it. My sister had already prepared me, and I was like, oh, this is it.
When you're dealing with music people, please don't sing anything off key because like I can't sing. She can sing. So when I just be, she's like, you just changed keys. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what key I'm in anyway. I don't care. I'm just singing. But she like, you change anyway. That's just
yeah. The first couple lines, I was like,
then he broke out in a freestyle. It didn't rhyme.
No, I was like, But the
Anyway, it was something romantic for them, and we just happened.
She liked it.
He could have said Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
She liked it.
She would have liked it. He could have played anything, and she would have been like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so good." Anyway,
the one thing I do want to remark because I did have this separate, but all the couples when they get in the bed, everybody's spooning. We didn't see Emma and any Keiichi spooning, but everybody else is all bunned up.
Big spoon, little spoon. Everybody's to cuddle.
The one thing I wanted to say with Madison and Allan is he got in the bed with his broccoli drawers on.
She like.
I didn't get to say that when we were talking about him. She was like, "Is that broccoli on your underwear?"
She's like, "We're gonna change that." Like we're gonna change the broccoli drawers.
But I will touch on this last couple when it comes to when they got to the room. I was like, "Yes, sis." Yes, sis. So last but not least, we got Thomas and Camille.
Yep.
You know, they had their first dance, and as they're dancing, he compliments her dress selection, and she was like, "Well, you look quite dapper yourself." And he was like, he said she fits his type.
Oh yeah, definitely.
His dad would be proud, and in the past, he shared that he had problems sticking with commitment. And he doesn't want to overthink it this time. So that's been his problem. He was like, he been overthinking it. Now we find out later it's some more to it.
Yeah, but I don't think he had a problem with commitment. He was in a relationship for 9 years. That's commitment. That's commitment. Now, whether you was there because you were scared to be there, and that's what we talked about. Whether you were scared to be in that relationship or you didn't want to leave that relationship, you didn't want to hurt the person, but you was committed to this relationship for 9 years, which is crazy. 9 years of no marriage.
Mm-hmm.
9 years of no marriage. How in the world, first of all, as a man, how you go 9 years? And as a woman, how do you accept being with somebody for 9 years and they're not asking you for marriage? That's just a whole different.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, they talk about the fact that family's important to her. And she was like, you know, I feel like he's someone so far, someone I can be safe with and I'm comfortable with. In their past relationships, you know, they weren't ready for marriage. And she feels like, from what she can tell of him, that he's good this time.
He's good.
So they got some clinking glasses at their reception. They kiss. And with some things, there's some things about me you might find annoying. And the one thing he shares is I eat all of one thing at a time on my plate. She was like, oh, no, I'm good with that because I kind of do that too. I didn't realize that was a thing. I do that too. Okay. I said, well,
that's weird.
What's weird?
One thing, like if I got mashed potatoes and broccoli, I'm putting those bad boys together and go. I got chicken and my meat, but you like something. I know people don't want stuff to touch, but you'll dip before mashed potatoes, then you go to your sweet potatoes, then you go to your broccoli. But you telling me you're gonna eat all your mashed potatoes first, then eat all your sweet potatoes, then eat all your
mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. Good gosh.
Thanksgiving, baby. Thanksgiving. You know
how
I do Thanksgiving. Got my clothes.
But
you know, but you eat all that. Just one. Each his own. I'm just thinking. Like,
I think it depends on what it is. Because if I have a burger and fries, I'm gonna eat all my fries first. Some people eat a fried bite the burger. Eat a fried bite the burger. Like, no, I'm gonna either eat the burger and then my fries, or my fries then my burger.
It depends
I'm
on if I'm
like
driving or
you.
not.
I'm like you sometimes too. Okay, I'm gonna get some rice with a piece of my chicken as I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some mashed potatoes maybe with whatever meat I'm eating. But I do sometimes too. Those go together. I'm gonna have to do my starch with my meat, but I will eat all my vegetable. I may not necessarily eat
Yeah, I might eat my vegetable by itself.
all of it. But anyway, there you go.
Do you guys separate your foods, or do you eat one thing at a time? Let us know in the conversation. Let us know.
And so her sister's talking to him. It's like, she needs someone a little more grounded with structure. And so she's telling him, my sister thinks I need somebody with more structure. So I feel like my sister would approve of you. They both of them say they've never been married before. He was in a 9-year relationship. Her, how long ago was that? He said 4.5 years ago. What happened? He tells her they grew apart. Mm-hmm. He thought he had things figured out, and he really didn't. And she says, realistic expectations for yourself. Did you have realistic expectations for yourself back then? Or did you need more time? Like, what was it? And he was like, a little bit of both. Needed more time. She wanted to be married, and I just wasn't sure. And this is what he's talking about, 9 years. You're not sure, but it's because we found out later. Basically, you had checked out before that. You had checked out, you just stayed in it because you didn't know how to get out.
When you check out a hotel, you leave. When you check out of relationships, guess what you should do? You should leave.
Everybody don't do that.
I know it, but you should though. You gotta know how. What I want to be physically checked out and mentally, emotionally checked out of a relationship, and still stay there, and still stay in the chaos, the mess. Like Tyler Perry said, I can do bad all by myself.
She said that worries her a little bit. It's like, so are you really ready to commit now? How does he know he's ready to be married? For him, he asked, how about you? She's her longest relationship was 5 years. It ended 7 years ago. Since then, she's had a couple of 1-year relationships. And, it's like we always end up in the same place where they're not fully knowing what they want, which is kind of like what he just talked about. So she's like, oh, no, Lord, I don't want to be in that same place. He talks to her sister and her friends.
This is different, though, because you're already married.
He feels like he won. I won the lottery. And it was like, guess what? You did.
You did.
She
valued. She's high value.
And he's like, I can't stop smiling. She talks to his twin and then a couple other friends.
Twin seemed like he was a little tipsy. I just believe that. Twin seemed like he was just a little bit, it's at the wedding. So I expect that.
Were you surprised? She was like, yeah, he cleans up nice. He had a great feeling about you. That's what the twin says. Yeah. And he was happy when he saw you. He talks about how close they are because they're twins, of course. But just because you're twin don't mean you're close. But they're really close.
And how they're doing family stuff together.
Yes,
the biggest thing.
How do you feel about combining family stuff? Because we do family stuff. She's like, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel like that everything will mesh well.
Yeah, I mean,
and she's family oriented.
Yeah, I mean, family cookouts, barbecues, Thanksgiving, birthdays, bar mitzvahs. Hey, by the way, we're just throwing stuff on the grill. Do you want to come over today? Type stuff. That's the type of stuff that people like. We're having game night.
Yeah, her bridesmaids ask her. They get the relationship question. Okay, longest relationship, 9 years. What happened? He said, if I could be 100% honest, I wasn't the best person in that relationship. No. I stepped outside. It was like, what you mean by stepped outside? Like cheated? He was like, yeah. I said, so see, he let that cat out the bag with them. He ain't tell her. He says, oh, it just.
For what we saw, I think production just be like, leave some things out so they can bring it in. No, I think he did tell her.
He didn't tell her because when she's talking to her friends,
that's right.
They tell her and she's like, oh.
And because she was like, that's a non-negotiable for you.
Yeah, we know it's a non-negotiable.
You'll be a cheater.
Yeah.
But again, he had already checked out. Again, that's why I say when you checked out, you get out, right? Mm-hmm. You leave. So there is no cheating. You can't say you cheated because I was gone anyway.
Yeah.
It might be a business. And at that point, when you already check out, it becomes a business deal. If you have moved together, you combine finance. We don't know the whole 9-year, what they've done. If they combine, were they living together? Were they doing all this stuff together, like as if they were married? And it was hard for them to check out. That's whatever. But check out, he cheated.
Yeah, he said, you know, that was a low time for him. He's worked on himself since. You know, I know I have to be open and honest. You know, she shares that he said he was in a 9-year relationship. That's a concern for her. His twin says some advice. He could be closed off. That could be a challenge. You're gonna have to open him up. They had a dad that was in the military. You know, they didn't show a lot of emotion, so his body language can be closed off. You know, just be on alert and look out for that, and you know, try to bring him out.
She said she noticed that. She noticed how he can be closed off and how he can be quiet sometimes and not say much.
Again, her question to the twin is he really ready now? You know, and the twin's like, you know, he's focused. Yes, we see a focus in him that we haven't seen before. So we know he's ready. I'm not sure.
I can't remember what he was. I think he was a lawyer.
I'm not
something like that. But he is he needs to show more emotion for me. And this is coming
he's very dry.
This is coming from a guy who, you know, my emotions are, I'm a funny guy. But he needs to show more emotion for me.
Yeah, he's very dry. Her friends was like, okay, you know, we gotta tell you about the fact that he cheated, and you know, we know that don't align with your values or whatever. And she was like, but you know, I feel like he's in a good space now. He did this Married at First Sight. We can work.
He did say he went to therapy behind it. He did therapy and counseling to get to recognize who he was and who he is and understand why he was in the process. So it showed that he moved. Don't be held for his past. It was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? It was 9 years ago.
One of her bridesmaids was like, so what's up with tonight? What's going down? She was like, I'm not going to say that we probably not going to have sex. I'm not going to say that we are. No, probably not.
Stop pushing people to the bedroom.
But the one thing I like is when they get to the honeymoon suite, she was like, look, just letting you know, I brought my satin pillowcase. This how to keep this hair like it is.
No, this is the part that reminds me of you.
What?
Where you sleeping at? He slept by the door.
Oh, no.
By the door.
No. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. No. They had a conversation which side of the bed. And she was like, she said, I'm not particular about either side. But she says, maybe you should sleep over there so you can defend
me.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we go.
Absolutely.
I sleep by the door. I have no problem sleeping by the door. Not at all.
And this is the funny thing.
But it's just
I normally sleep on the left side of if you're laying in the bed. I sleep on the left side of the bed. If the left side is by the door in a hotel, I'm not sleeping there. I'm gonna go on the other side.
Only place that you sleep by the door. Only place you sleep by the door is at your mama's house.
I knew you was gonna say that.
At your mama's house. Because I guess that's the house. You comfortable with that? You familiar with that? That's the only place you sleep by the door at.
No,
did you sleep on that side of the
bed? It's because at my mother's house, the left side of the bed is the side, and it's not really by the door because the door is down here. But in hotels, you know, the door's on the sides. Yeah. So I think that's it too. But because that's like my bed, so I'm gonna sleep in. I'm saying it's like my bed at, not my bed. That's not my bed. I'm saying it resembles our bed at home. Like I'm at home. So yeah, like you said, I'm gonna sleep on that side. I do.
I'm comfortable with it. I don't mind. I'm a light sleeper anyway.
You defend the window.
I'm a light
that space. You defend the window.
Anybody coming in that window? I'm a light sleeper anyway. So anything that moves and moves in the house, I'm up. I know. So anyway.
That's another conversation. You are a light sleeper. It depends.
It depends. On the couch, I'm a deep sleeper.
My gosh.
I'm a deep sleeper, but in the bed, I'm a light sleeper.
One day, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret when it comes to Married at First Sight and him sleeping.
I tell y'all now, I don't finish every episode right now. I have to watch the episode in 2 parts. Whenever we watch it late. We don't watch it live. So we watch it late. So again.
He makes me watch it late.
And I fall asleep halfway through.
Every time.
I get a halfway through hour.
Every time.
That's why sometimes you get these reviews late because
every time
I have to go back and watch it. It's my fault. Anyway, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you'll miss any of our reviews. Appreciate you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Thank you for rocking with us. And we enjoy reviewing Married at First Sight. Keep talking to us, all right? Appreciate you. And if you're new here, subscribe. Peace.
Bye.